What's up, metalheads? Welcome to the Scrap Metal Podcast, the show for the Misfits who've been listening to the same music since high school. I'm your host, John von Frankenstein, and joining me today is my metal thrashing mad co-host, Chris. Chris, I gotta ask you, man, how you feeling?
I gotta say, I am feeling expected.
Expected? Yes, we've been expecting you. Please, come right in. Have a seat. I have your favorite tea ready for you, sir. Chris, does this feeling of clairvoyance and being expected have anything to do with how you're keeping your heavy metal street cred?
In a roundabout way, this has everything to do with my heavy metal street cred. Because you see, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. But I've been expecting the brand new Burning Witches album, Inquisition. And I've been listening to this album. It just came out like a week or so ago as of this recording, and I am really enjoying it. It's really good. I've been looking forward to this album all summer because I think they came out with like a single like 6 months ago. And I was like, oh, new music from Burning Witches. I'm looking for, I've always look for new music from them. And it's like, oh, this album comes out at the end of August. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This single came out in like February or some shit. But I've been enjoying it. I've seen some reviews and I agree that it's much more of like power metal and arena rocks compared to some of their other music, but it's still really good. You know, songs like Soul Eater and High Priestess of the Night are fantastic. Release Me is a great ballad. Mirror Mirror is the single that they released like back in February that everyone thought was going to be like a Blind Guardian cover because they have a song called Mirror Mirror. It turns out just to be an original song with the same name. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. I think The Witch of the North 2 albums ago is still my favorite of theirs. I feel like that album's a little bit thrashier, but this one, it's really good, like a power metal arena rock vibe. They still get thrashy, but yeah, I've been listening to Burning Witches and their newest album, Inquisition.
Dude, I love them. They are so awesome. After that power metal episode, I was like, okay, we definitely have to do a little bit more investigating with this band. And they're a lot of fun. I have to check it out just so that I can do the comparison of the power metal versus arena rock sort of feel, which I feel like was the same sort of criticism that Ghost had gotten on their new album as well, that it felt a little bit more arena rock than like heavy metal. But as long as we're getting new material from bands that we like, I feel like that is a win for everyone.
Yes.
Because a lot of times bands will come out with, 1 or 2 albums and it feels like they just break up after that. They were here 1 second and then they're gone the next, or some would even say gone in 60 seconds. The Nicolas Cage vehicle. Also wasn't Angelina Jolie in that?
I don't know.
Didn't she have dreadlocks?
All I know about that movie is that it's Nicolas Cage, and I think the premise was that he had to steal a certain number of cars in a certain number of time. So like a certain amount of time. So I think he only had like 60 seconds to steal each car or something. I think that was the premise. And at what point
does he get the Declaration of Independence?
I don't know. I think after he steals an hour's worth of cars and our time.
And it's a good thing that we don't have to spend too much time on these songs here, because these are all songs that are gone in 60 seconds, 60 seconds or less. Yes, we have the occasional, minute and 5, minute and 15, minute and 20 maybe even. But all of these are for sure less than 2 minutes. Guaranteed. Chris, I am so excited to start getting into this because it's incredible how many songs we were able to find that just go by like that in the blink of an eye. Are you excited to get into these songs that are 60 seconds or less?
I am so excited to talk about these songs that are gone in 60 seconds or less. I know I had come to you with this episode because I had been listening to Dead Kennedys and their album Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death, which is really just a compilation. One of the songs on that is a live performance of a song called Short Songs, where the lyrics are, I like short songs, repeated 12 times, and it's over in 28 seconds. And that kind of got me thinking about all these short songs. I remember seeing like a Loudwire listicle years ago that was like the best songs that are less than a minute long, and some of the songs on that list show up in our list because, you know, this style of music, especially when it comes to punk rock, these are fast songs. These are short songs, you know, and I think we're going to get into that. You also see that a lot in death metal and grindcore, where it's almost like it becomes a competition of who can write the shortest song. And I think there's some clear-cut front runners when it comes to writing the absolute shortest song. So I am so excited to talk about all these songs that are gone in 60 seconds.
I have become fascinated with the art of writing the short song, because what you'll see with a lot of these, they kind of throw the conventional songwriting method out the window.
Yes.
You know, we're used to the conventional like pop structure, even in this heavier music, where it's intro, verse, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus, maybe double up the chorus for the end, and you're out.
Yep.
But with some of these songs, the way that they're able to keep them to that shorter pace is by not repeating anything that had come before.
Yeah.
Or if these motifs do come back, it's not the gradual build that you will get with a lot of metal and like more involved punk and metal, I guess you could say, or more conventional punk and metal.
Yeah.
And because I had kind of like never realized just how much you can smash into 60 seconds or less.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this is a real challenge now to go in. And I did set up a rule for myself where I wasn't going to be doing any intros or outros.
Yes.
Because those I feel like could easily be under 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But I wanted something that was an actual proper song.
Yeah.
You know, that was just in and out. You know, where they kind of start things up and then all of a sudden they end it. And that brings us to our first band, the band End It from Baltimore. They are awesome. I'm so excited to be seeing them soon, opening up for Speed. For a while now, every time I put them on, I'm like, this guy sounds like a mixture of Bobby Blitz and the Beastie Boys. The way he screams has that sort of Bobby Blitz sort of sound behind it. I love it, and I love their energy, and their song HTF, or Harder They Fall, is a perfect example. It comes in at 52 seconds. So just under the mark, but they still make it. And I did want to throw in an honorable mention for their song Lifer, Hardhead, and Hatekeeper. Those are another 3 songs that are less than a minute long. And these guys just have so much energy and are able to pack in these really exciting parts within 52 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not only is it impressive, but it's I wrote a song recently where I was like, I need to keep this under 2 minutes. And I managed to bring it in at like a minute and 40 or something. And I took that same method. I was like, in my type of writing, I'll have the intro and you know, the riffs that will come back, the verses, the choruses and stuff like that. But I made it a challenge to be like, no, find a good riff for this part, get to the next part, find a good riff for that part, find a way to connect it to that last riff, and then you're out.
Yep.
And so that's I just love the artistry of these songs that are gone in 60 seconds.
Definitely. Like you're saying, it's so interesting to see them throw songwriting conventions out the window and not have verse, chorus, bridge, and then a final chorus. Yeah. Sometimes bands do manage to do that in less than 90 seconds. Yeah. I forget which song it is because I didn't have it on my list, but I know there's a Suicidal Tendencies song that's like less than 2 minutes long, and my brother is like, this song is crazy. It has 3 verses, 3 choruses, and a guitar solo, and it's like a minute and 40 seconds long. Like, it's insane how much, like, even when you stick to songwriting convention, you can kind of still keep it really short.
Yeah.
And that's I think both things are really exciting because I've also seen songs that are on the longer side that throw out conventions and are just verse after verse after verse and don't have like a verse chorus type of formula to it. A band that came to mind that also goes back and forth. Sometimes they have the traditional songwriting conventions and sometimes they don't, is Municipal Waste. Their album, The Art of Partying, has a lot of very short songs. And like I mentioned, there was a Loudwire listicle I saw years ago that included their song Born to Party. Now, I disagree. Because on the album, I've brought this up before, the track lasts for 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but the song itself takes up about 1 minute and 15 seconds. But the first 10 to 15 seconds of the song are like similar to the drum and guitar sting you get at the beginning of Eruption by Van Halen. You get the same thing here that lasts for 10 to 15 seconds. So if you take that out, yeah, the song is probably like 1 minute long. But with that, the song is over 1 minute. But on this same album, there is a song called Thrashin's My Business and Business is Good that comes in at 49 seconds. And I absolutely love this song. Like we said, it doesn't follow any convention. It is just Ryan Waste, like, singing so fast. He sings so fast. All of their songs are like 90 seconds long or 2 minutes long, and there's enough lyrics to fill out an Iron Maiden song. It's crazy how much he fits into a short amount of space.
That's breath support.
It's crazy, but Thrashin's My Business and Business is Good is such a fun song because there's also a part in the middle with like gang vocals where he's like jerk, work, face, waist, go, and like it goes into like this little like breakdown or whatever, and then the end of the song is, do you have your own thing? You probably should, because thrashing's my business and business is good. And it's just this fun song that is about rocking out and being in the mosh pit, and you can use up all the energy I have in my old man body to mosh to this 49-second song, enjoy myself to this song. And I think that's what I also really like about these songs, is that I can use a lot more energy enjoying these songs compared to like an Anthrax song where they don't know how to write a song that's shorter than 6 minutes long.
Right.
So that's what makes it so fun to listen to these songs. It is just the most intense minute of your life listening to this awesome thrash. And that's what I love about these songs, like from Municipal Waste.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of it is the intensity of it. And it's so some people are long distance runners and other people are sprinters, right?
Yeah.
So like it's the same thing with this. They're writing songs that you would sprint to.
Yes.
And just expelling as much of that energy as they possibly can within that short amount of time.
Yeah.
And you're right too. Like you see a lot of short songs that will have that will be very sparse on lyrics, because they're like, well, I can't go into this whole entire lyrical theme and have things come back and reference things at the end of the song the way I could if we wrote a 5-minute epic.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be able to fit in a whole laundry list of ideas and lyrics within that short span of time is so impressive. I was actually talking with my brother about this episode, and he was like, it makes me think of the Weird Al Yankovic song where he talks about like going to Walmart or something like that, or Home Depot, where he's just like listing off all of the
that's
the hardware store.
That's hardware store, which like that song goes unnecessarily hard because, like you're saying, there's the part in the middle where, first of all, the music for the song is unnecessarily epic and like has this really cool feel about it. And then, yes, there's the bridge in the middle where he lists like has to be at least 40 or 50 different types of tools and items you could find in a hardware store with no breaths. So like, it's clear that like he's using the fact that he recorded it in a studio to like, okay, I'm going to say every other word and then I'll record another track where I say every other word so that I have the time to breathe. But it goes on for a while and he just says all of these tools. I wish I had any of them memorized because it's so ridiculous the amount of things he lists in this one part of the song.
One of the things that I don't think he mentioned was a straight edge. And there are so many straight edge songs that come in grasping at straws, baby. So many straight edge songs that come in under a minute. One of the most famous being the straight edge song, Straight Edge by Minor Threat, which is sub 1 minute. But my choice for this was X by Kublai Khan off of their latest album. That comes in at 45 seconds. And it's kind of cool because they managed to have a straight edge song on this album as well as having Dave Peters from Throwdown on another song. So there's a lot of straight edge street cred going on this album. But it is just a short 45-second song talking about, all right, 20 years going strong. I am still as devoted to this as I was back when I first started. And I'm doing this for the edge, a straight fucking edge. They always have to... So I went to a straight edge show recently with Metal Mike, friend of the podcast, and he was like, the thing about straight edge bands is they have to remind you every 10 seconds that they're straight edge. It's like vegans and CrossFitters. They have to keep reminding you and letting you know.
Yep.
So I get it. But at least this song's only 45 seconds. So they only have time to tell us once that they're straight edge. But it's a really cool song. It's a faster song for Kublai Khan, which they're kind of known for doing like the slower or mid-tempo type songs, but they do have some faster ones. Another honorable mention for them, which I did not include because it was over a minute long, but the last 16 seconds of the song just ring out and then they have a sample. And that's the song Taipan off of Lowest Form of Animal. So... That song is also just under a minute long if you take out the 16 seconds where they're just ringing out on the last note and cymbals with the sample on there too. But yeah, I was like, oh, I could go on and list so many straight edge songs, now just realizing that I have 2 of them on this list. So Chris, why don't you break it up a little bit? Give me your next choice for songs that are under 60 seconds.
So we've talked a little bit about bands breaking songwriting convention, trying to fit as much of a message into less than 60 seconds. This band, I think, fits a pretty obvious message with as few words as possible. That is the Nuclear Assault song, Hang the Pope, which is off of their 1986 debut, Game Over. This song is 43 seconds long, and the only lyrics are the words, Hang the Pope, repeated a good 30 or 40 times. And that's the entire song. So I think they get their message across by just saying the same few words over and over and over again. When I originally was thinking about Nuclear Assault and including one of their songs on here, I considered including their cover of the Mr. Softee theme, which is only 25 seconds long. But then on the same album, I saw Hang the Pope, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a fun one, where, he's just like, hang the Pope, hang the Pope, hang the Pope, hang the Pope, and does that for 40 seconds, and then the song is over. So much like the Dead Kennedy song I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's just an excuse to play a riff really fast and yell something kind of dumb, kind of silly, maybe offensive as you're yelling Hang the Pope. And this is a live performance, so I think it sounds even worse quality than the rest of the album, but it's a song that came to mind just because of how to the point the song is. It's just immediately, this song is called Hang the Pope, and the only lyrics are Hang the Pope, and I'm going to say that 40 times in 40 seconds, and then we'll play something else. So I wanted to make sure I included this song because I felt like it did a good job of getting in and getting out in less than 60 seconds.
Right. And I don't know that that's necessarily... I feel like some people might use that against this genre of music, right? Of heavy music, saying that they're not really saying all that much. They're just repeating the same lyric over and over and over again. A lyric that's just trying to be edgy, right?
Yeah.
But kind of like how we're at a point with tattoo culture where people are like, your tattoos don't have to have a whole long drawn out, my Nana taught me how to make butter at her cottage in the woods sort of story about your tattoos. You could just have a tattoo because it looks fucking cool. I think that these songs are sort of the same in that every song doesn't have to be the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner sort of in epic, right? If you have a simple message that you're trying to convey, that you can convey simply and quickly that doesn't lessen the impact of the song.
Yeah.
Where I feel like some people would say, like, there's nothing to this. It's simple. How, like, you could judge something, like, just by saying, like, if it was more important, it would be longer. But if the message is hang the Pope, how much further can you go with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because I think I made a similar point in I think I in a recent episode I mentioned a research paper I wrote about rock lyrics, and I made a point talking about Jello, Biafra, and Dead Kennedys because Jello Biafra had campaigned for mayor in San Francisco and came in like 5th out of 7 candidates. So like, no, he didn't almost win, but he also didn't come in last place. But I included this idea of like, okay, maybe when you're moshing, you're not paying as close attention as to what the vocalist is saying lyrically because you're too focused on just, you know, slam dancing and two-stepping and trying not to, you know, get punched or kicked in the face.
Yeah.
But at the same time, someone must be listening. If the dude is getting enough votes to come in 5th out of 7, you know, in a mayoral campaign. And I think the same approach is probably taken here where it's like, I don't have to speak eloquently to get my point across. Everyone here knows what the point I'm trying to make is, and I'm going to make it as quickly and as short as possible. You know, why use many word when fewer word do trick, that sort of thing. Some like newspeak type of shit, you know?
Didn't we just talk about cavemen in a recent episode? Are we going back to that? Why you want to give me riff after riff? Give me 2 riff, stupid lyric, and stop. That's all we need. So my next choice for songs that are gone in 60 seconds is the song Inclination by Weapon X. Told you there was going to be another straight edge song on here. Comes in at 54 seconds. So it's the longest of my picks so far. But this is just, again, really fun song. Pretty simple message. We're fucking straight edge. Fuck you. I am inclined. I am born with this or like I am predisposed for this addictive personality. And through my fucking willpower, I fight against that inclination to give in to those more base needs, and I'm better than you. Is what I think they're trying to say. Honorable mention goes out to their song On My Own, which also comes in, I think, just at a minute or just under. Another really cool song. But yeah, I just love the concept of hit 'em hard, get in, get out. It's almost like it's like boxing. It's like boxing, right? You make the most impact you can right at the beginning, Mike Tyson style. Heavyweights do it all the time. This is why heavyweights get winded if they're in there for more than 5-6 rounds. You know what I mean? Like, these are top-level athletes. But yeah, they're trying to make the most impact they can right at the beginning. Why not go for, you know, a knockout right off the bat within the first couple seconds if you can? I also love that because so many of these songs are so short, you can come in at, like, less than 5 or 6 minutes, you know, less than 10 minutes if you got an EP. If you got 5 or 6 songs where like 2 of them are 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, and then you've got like another 2 50-second songs, like, that's awesome. You're in and out. You're making as much of a statement as you possibly can. And I wonder if a lot of that with like punk and hardcore comes from trying to like going back to tape trading and being like, okay, well, we've got these shorter songs. We can fit more of them onto a set list or on a tape. Yeah. And here we go. Now we're handing stuff out, and we're not asking people to commit too much time. You know what I mean? So it's like we aren't asking for you to sit down and listen to a 45-minute album. If you got 5 minutes, throw this on. If you like it, come see us next week. We're playing at a pizzeria or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
It's funny you mention that because a band that's come up a couple times now, Dead Kennedys, I want to say their album In God We Trust Inc. Mm-hmm. Maybe, but I forget which album it is, but they fit the entire album on one side of a cassette tape. Mm-hmm. And then said, we left this other side of the cassette blank so that you can use it for whatever purposes you want. Like basically encouraging people to pirate music off of one of their cassette tapes. Like they were like, listen to us on side A and then pirate music off of the radio or record a bootleg concert on side B. Whatever you want to do with this cassette tape that we're selling to you, which I think is so funny. I think Streetlight Manifesto did a similar thing where they got into a dispute with their CD or like record company, and they were supposed to have this 2 CD set that was supposed to be the normal version of the album and then an acoustic version of the album, and the record label didn't want that, so the day the album comes out, the acoustic version leaked when really it was just the lead singer Thomas Kalnoky leaking it online. But part of the deluxe version included a second disc that was blank, so that people could burn the acoustic version of the CD to a physical copy of the CD, since there was no official release of it. So like, this is something that I don't know if Dead Kennedys was the first to do it, but if they were, they've inspired other people to do that sort of thing. But there's one band that I feel like I've been kind of dancing around, and I've definitely listened to some of their albums and been disappointed that it's done in less than 20 minutes, and that's the Misfits. They are notorious for writing songs that are less than 2 minutes long. I think Glenn Danzig is allergic to writing songs that are longer than 2 minutes long, or at least he was back then. But what was funny was that I felt like a lot of the songs I was thinking of, they still weren't less than 60 seconds. Because for some reason I thought Vampira was shorter than it was, but I think that's like a minute 20 or a minute 40 or something. It's longer than I thought it was. But one song that does not have the type of message that some of the other songs we've talked about. It has a very simple message, and that is the song Braineaters, coming in at 59 seconds, which asks the question, why can't we have brains? You know, or no, it's why can't we have some guts? All they have is brains. Why can't we have some guts? And yeah, I knew I had to talk about the Misfits at some point because all of their songs are so short. You know, I think, it's a Comeback that I think is like 5 minutes long, and then everything else is 2 minutes long or less. And the other song I did think about is Demonomania, coming in at 45 seconds, because listening to that original version of Earth AD, I don't know if any of those songs are longer than 2 minutes. So like you listen to that album and it's done in like 17 minutes, which is like, and to think that there's a side A and a side B, it's like you listen to the album for 6 minutes, then you have to flip it over. It's like, what? I barely get to sit down and have something to drink, and I already have to get back up and flip the cassette over. Come on, man.
I was just making my coffee, and I sit down, and now the record's done.
But I knew I had to bring up the Misfits because their songs are so short, and I knew I'd be able to find something less than a minute because their songs are so short. And it also goes back to, like I said, I saw the original Misfits when they performed at Madison Square Garden, and it was one of those things where I watched them perform 25 songs. Which meant there were 25 different times. Me and my brother looked at each other, headbanged for 90 seconds, and we're like, we forgot how much we love all these fucking songs. And to hear them live right now is just so fucking cool that we get to enjoy these songs live, and we get to hear so many of them because, like I said, they're so short, so they get to play 25 different songs. I've talked about it before. Anthrax songs are so fucking long. I'm always seeing them open for someone, and they get to play 4 songs, and it's the same 4 fucking songs every time. It's always Antisocial. It's always I Am the Law. Maybe they throw in Among the Living, and then I don't know, maybe like Caught in a Mosh, and that's it. That's the entire Anthrax set list.
And that's like, all right, yeah. If they took some time to write a minute and 15 minute and 15 second song is what I was trying to say before I had that stroke. Then yeah, maybe you'd be able to see more from their performances, which is what's so crazy to me about these bands that are just starting out. It's like if you've got just like one demo that's got like 6 songs on it and you're coming in at 10 minutes, like even a shorter opening set, you might have 20, 25 minutes. What do you do for the rest of the time? You know what I mean? Like you throw in a cover, maybe you're playing all the songs that you've got on your demo. Maybe you throw in a cover, then you've got the banter within there. I guess that gives you just enough time to set up, play your songs, break down, and get off the stage, and it keeps things moving. And maybe that's another thing of it too, where it's like, well, we don't have that much. These songs are meant to be played live because they are so short. Yeah. So the shorter we keep them, the more of them we can play. So I guess that's a smart method to go by. You know what I mean? I know that I was going to have a lot of punk and hardcore picks on my side of the list, but I didn't want to exclude death metal. Yeah. Because death metal by its nature is such a fast genre and has such fast songs, but I wanted to find songs that came in just under 60 seconds. You know what I mean? And like, it was really tough for me to find any. The one that I was able to find from Gates to Hell is at 1:29. And I know the rule that you gave us was like, if we got to go to 1:30, if we got to go to 90 seconds, we can do that. Yep. We can stretch it. But I really didn't want to go over that. And I was like, oh my God. So this is like right under the gun. Honorable mention goes out to Crazed Killer, which comes in at 1:38. But it was still too goddamn long. Yep. So Human Extinction by Gates to Hell is the song that I chose. And this is just intensity, 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 and they're in and out. But it gives you all of the... it's a bite-sized death metal song. So you get all of that intensity, you get all of the riffage, you get the crazy drums under 90 seconds. And I would love to hear more death metal songs that come in at a minute or less, because it just feels like it's made for it. You know what I mean? Death metal is another one of those genres that it feels like everything has to be maybe not an epic, but where you have more of a build. You're going to have guitar solos in there. Yeah. Sometimes you'll have dueling guitar solos. And I would love to hear more and more. And if I'm missing out on a band that is chock full of like 30 to 45 second death metal songs, leave them for us in the comments. Let us know. But yeah, I would love to find some more death metal bands that are doing that are giving us that craziness and that intensity and are gone in 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, were there bands that you were hoping you could include on this list and you were like, I can't find anything that's under 60 seconds?
You know, there was a few bands. What's funny is that a song that came to mind, but it is 1:40 long, is Slayer has a song. I believe Necrophobic is the song. It's Necrophobic or Piece by Piece. Pretty sure it's Necrophobic, off of Rain and Blood, which is very punk influenced on that album. So it's not surprising that the album itself comes in at less than a half hour long, and that the longest song is Angel of Death at 4 minutes and 59 seconds or something like that. But there is this song Necrophobic that's 1:40, which is their shortest song. But there is a death metal band who, an album I've listened to, and they might be considered somewhere between death metal and grindcore, is the band Mortician. And I have listened to their album Chainsaw Dismemberment a few different times, and when you look at the track list, the longest song on the album is like 3.5 minutes long, and everything else is between 30 seconds and 2 minutes long. And there was one song that I wanted to include, the title track, Chainsaw Dismemberment. The full track is 2 minutes and 39 seconds long. But the first minute of the song is a clip from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And so you have the first minute that is just like this narration, and I know the part. There's the part near the end of the narration where he's like, "No facts, no crime. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre haunts Texas. It seems to have no end." And then it goes into like the heavy riff, and then it goes into the very fast death metal grindcore sort of thing, and a minute and 40 seconds later, the song is over. So even taking out the 1 minute movie clip, this song is still 9 seconds longer than the time limit I gave us. This is the song I've listened to the most off of this album. But when you look at the track list, Mortician has a bunch of songs that are less than 2 minutes long, that are less than 90 seconds long, and even a few that are less than a minute long. So if you like that kind of grindcore style of death metal, because I think that's the thing, is that the death metal that I love and, that early Cannibal Corpse is very much influenced by thrash metal. A band like Death is a thrash metal band that kind of did a lot of things that became staples of death metal. So it's almost like, because the genre is influenced by a genre known for songs that are maybe 4 minutes long because they got to fit in a bridge and a guitar solo. I think that's why a lot of death metal has a little bit longer songs. But when you look for those bands that are a little bit more of like a grindcore band that is more like a death metal or grindcore, like Mortician, that's where you can find those really short songs.
I got to do more exploration with them then, because I love the intensity. Like, going through these songs, I was like, yeah, this is a sweet spot. This is fun. This is really like, just the thought of like getting a circle pit going, and then it's like, oh wait, it's done. It's done already. We're on to the next one. Everybody's cheering already.
Yep.
Like, that gets me so hyped up. You know what I mean? Like, this would make the perfect cardio playlist, because it's like you're not sitting there like listening to a 3 minute long song. You're getting 15 songs within within the time that you're running on a treadmill or whatever. The next song that I want to mention is by a band that has really been blowing up as of late. That's Peeling Flesh, and the song is The Fuckening. And this song comes in at 1 minute and 7 seconds. Honorable mention goes out to their song Autismus Prime, which just gets an honorable mention because of the fucking title. I'm pretty sure it was also around 1 minute long, but I saw that title and I was like, that sparks joy in me. But yeah, The Fuckening, I saw an interview recently with the singer, and he was asked if his lyrics have any meaning, and he was like, dude, they don't mean shit. Like, every song is about a new way to just fuck someone up. Because most of it is just like, first off, they don't have the lyrics available on Apple Music. And I don't think that it matters, because, again, the songs are going by so quickly, and the point is to make the vocals, to turn the vocals into another rhythmic instrument.
Yeah.
So you've got the bree, 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 like fucking, like pig squeals and shit like that, and the crazy gutturals. So in this case, the lyrics may not be so important. It's more about the wall of sound that they're creating. And because they're keeping the song so short, you're getting as much of that. It's like a wall just making its way towards you. It's like you're in the trash compressor. In Star Wars.
Yes.
And the wall is just facing you. It's here now. And then it's done. And then you're done and you're gone. But I absolutely love them. They have just taken that style of like grindcore, death metal, I don't know what you would even really call it, super pingy, Saint Anger type snares. And just like dialed up the craziness on it. And I love that, because I can sit and I can listen to a Dream Theater song, which is like 28 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's an epic, and it has chapters, and it has different themes. And then I can listen to a 1 minute and 7 second long song called The Fuckening. And I'm like, yeah, I get the same amount of joy out of both of them.
Yes.
But there's just something about being so intense and being so crazy in such a short amount of time that really does just bring me so much joy. Chris, what is your next choice for song that is gone in 60 seconds?
So the next songs I'd like to talk about, it was interesting. We've talked about like lyrical content and saying how, you know, the last songs where it's like, no, these lyrics mean nothing, you know? Right. And I think this next band is a band whose lyrics have been very criticized. That's the band SOD. And off of their album, Speak English or Die, they have multiple very short songs, some of which coming in under a minute long. One I would like to talk about is Fuck the Middle East, which comes in at 27 seconds, where it's like the lyrics are really funny because of how fucked up they are. Where he's like, the lyrics are fuck the Middle East, there's too many problems. They hijack our planes. They raise our oil prices. Let's kill them all, have a ball, and solve their fucking crisis. And then he just like fast-paced lists a bunch of countries that they're going to bomb. But what's funny is at the end, there's a line. This was recorded in 1985, and since then, people's opinions, I think, of both of these countries has changed, because in 1985, he lists these other bands, he says something about Sunnis and Shiites, and then he says, so Israel and Egypt could live in peace without these dicks. And I would argue that 40 years later, Israel especially, and probably Egypt, are also dicks. So I think there might need to be some updates there, but it was funny listening to it recently and being like, I don't think people have that opinion anymore 40 years later. Yeah. Some people might want you to include them in your call to nuke the entire Middle East as well. But I've always thought this was such a funny song because, like, it's called Fuck the Middle East, and the first line you hear is like, just Billy Milano yelling, fuck the Middle East. And then it goes into the rest of the song. And it's so absurd and like goes right along with something like Speak English or Die, where of course they're going to get accused of being racist because they're writing songs like this. But what's funny is that also on this album, there are shorter songs than that. The 27 seconds. There is Anti-Procrastination Song, which is Billy Milano yelling Anti-Procrastination Song, the band hitting like 2 chords, and that's it, which comes in at 6 seconds. And then coming in at 5 seconds is the song Diamonds and Rust, which again is Billy Milano yelling diamonds and rust. And that's the whole song. And, you know, I think that really kind of set the idea of like, yeah, let's write a really, really, really short song that is just obnoxious in how short it is. Because that's really what Scott and Billy and Charlie and Danny were trying to do with Stormtroopers of Death. They were trying to be as obnoxious as possible with the bit of time they had in the studio. And we're like, we're going to write fucked up songs. We're going to write funny songs. We're going to write really short songs that are dumb. I was listening to this album. I'm going on a tangent because that's what I do. One of my favorite songs on the album is What's That Noise? And the band plays like these chords, and then all of a sudden there's this like really weird sound of like warped feedback, or like someone like doing like a really bad pick scrape or trying to like scrape the strings against the pickup or something. Just a really strange sound. And so they play the chords, you get the sound, and then Billy Milano is like, what the fuck is that noise? And then they play the chords again, and you get the noise, and Billy's like, wait, and he's talking to the producer, Alex, and he's like, Alex, what's that noise? And I was like, what? And the band keeps playing and making this noise, and Billy keeps getting angrier and angrier. He's like, wait, guys, don't play. What is that noise? And they keep playing over and over again to the point where he's like, stop fucking playing! And like he's yelling at them. And you hear him like, that's it, I fucking had it. And you hear, I'm pretty sure it's Scott, say, hey, where you going? And that's the end of the song. But I laugh every time because it's so funny how mad Billy gets because they just keep playing it and he just keeps yelling, "What's that fucking noise?" and telling the band to stop playing. So, yes, I had to talk about SOD once again. I think, again, dating this episode, I saw Scott Ian post today is the 40th anniversary of the release of the album.
Yep.
Once again, proclaiming his love for the riff he wrote for March of the SOD. 40 years later, still his favorite thing he's ever written, which is so much fun to watch him play it on the guitar he recorded it on, to see him just be like, yeah, I wrote this 40 years ago and I still love playing it and I will continue to play it until the day I die.
Yeah, it was the guitar that he used to play it, the amp head, right? He talked about like the camouflage grill on his cabinet and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw that today too. They are just so ridiculous. I'm so surprised you didn't bring up like any of their ballads.
I feel like the ballads are cheating because the whole point is that they're only playing like it's meant to be like a fake out. Of oh, am I gonna play Purple Haze? No, I'm just gonna announce that Jimi Hendrix is dead. Am I gonna play Smells Like Teen Spirit? No, I'm just gonna announce that Kurt Cobain is dead. You know, I feel like those songs kind of count as fake outs. Yes, they're all less than like 10 seconds long, but I felt like the point of those is more of to be like, oh, hey, I'm playing this song. No, I'm not. I'm making fun of someone who killed themselves. Right.
Now, a band that is kind of on SOD's level in regards to writing fucked up shit is Sanguisugabogg, the band that everyone loves to debate how you pronounce the name.
Yes.
And they are famous for whenever someone tweets at them, "Hey, how do you pronounce your band name?" They just write the band name back out in response. So the song I wanted to pick for this Gone in 60 Seconds episode is Posthumous Compression. And exactly what I was talking about before. You're just being squished in a garbage compressor. And it's coming in at 1 minute and 5 seconds. And this is another one where it's like that slam grindcore type of song where it's just the pingy, ringing snare drums, nasty fucking riffs, and just unintelligible lyrics. And yeah, I want more of that stuff. Yeah. I want more of like the nasty. It sounds the way a New York City puddle would feel. Like if you were wearing flip-flops and you didn't notice the puddle there and your foot just goes into it. Yeah. And then you turn into the Toxic Avenger or something like that.
Just cut the foot off at that point.
Yeah, that's what their music sounds like, and I love it. Like their song Gored to Death, or Dead as Fuck. Like it's just, they sound disgusting. Yeah. They're definitely a band that I have to see live. I'm super excited to try and catch them. But yeah, coming in at 1 minute and 5 seconds. Again, intensity is all there. The disgustingness out of the riffs and the vocals are all there. Just a fun fucking band to listen to. And maybe even mispronounce their name.
Maybe.
Chris, what's your next pick?
So the next song I want to talk about is, in my opinion, the seminal short song. Okay. I think this is the ultimate in short songs because coming in at 4 seconds is the Napalm Death classic, You Suffer. Yeah. This is off of their 1987 debut album, Scum, and the entire song is one chord. And the lead singer yelling. There might be alleged lyrics, but it literally just sounds like, ah! And that's the song. I just sang You Suffer to you right now. I hope we don't get content ID'd for me singing the song You Suffer by Napalm Death. But yes, this is like whenever I've seen people joke like, oh, what's your favorite Napalm Death song? You Suffer is people's favorite song. Yeah, and it's like, I feel like they're known for that and their cover of Nazi Punk's Fuck Off. That's the two things everyone knows Napalm Death for. You know, I've listened to some of their other stuff. I saw them live when I saw them supporting Slayer on their final tour. I saw them at
Really?
Jones Beach,
Okay.
and again, the crowd goes nuts for, Nazi punks fuck off. But yeah, once I was like, hey, we're doing a show on short songs, I cannot let this episode go by and not bring up You Suffer by Napalm Death. Because and it's not like there's anything to talk about. Like I said, it is just an obnoxious grindcore noise that lasts for 4 seconds that they just put in there to be obnoxious, because that's what that grindcore and type of death metal is about. It's just, no, we're going to be obnoxious. We're going to write the shortest and fastest song possible, which is 1 chord for 4 seconds. That's it. And I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 seconds is just silence, because they couldn't, you don't want, it would get lost in the shuffle on the album if there wasn't silence before and after the 1 chord. Right. You would think it was just part of one of the other songs. So yes, this comes in at 4 seconds, and I knew if we were talking about gone in 60 seconds, this is gone in 4 seconds. Napalm Death, You Suffer.
I left it off of my list because I was like, he's got to bring this up. There's no way. And if you didn't bring it up, I was going to bring it up as like the suggestion. But I remember seeing a performance of it that they did on, I don't know if it was like MTV or some sort of like British, like Top of the Pops type of show, where the announcer just like, the host looked like he had no idea what he was in for. And then when they were done, he's like, that's it. They're like, yep, that's it. That's all it is. He's like, so what's this song about? And they're like, it's just pain. It's pain, And it's like, okay, all right. Yeah, exactly. There's not much to say about it. There's not much that you need to say. There's not much that we can say.
Yeah.
It's just a 4 fucking second song. It's phenomenal. It's so fucking good. A concept that we've been talking about this whole entire episode is speed.
Yep.
And the band Speed also happens to have a song that's on the shorter side. It's not gone in 60 seconds. It's like 1:09. But their song Only Foes is a shorter offering. And again, one that kind of takes the formula of like, here's the intro riff, here's a couple lyrics, here's another cool beatdown riff. We've got just enough time to slow down the riff and ring out these chords a little bit, and then we're out. And that's it. We're done. There's our offering. Goodbye. And I love that. Dude, I am so psyched to see these guys at the end of October. They're going to be playing a skate park. The show starts. Doors are at 10 o'clock. I have work the next day. I'm going to be regretting life the next morning. But Speed is so much fun, and they have gained so much speed with since the pandemic. They've just really blown up, and they are so much fun. Like any interview I watch with these guys, they seem like such a fun group of guys, and like always talk about how their whole entire motto is like bringing their friends along for the ride, bringing as many of their mates from Australia along with them. Like, their best friend who has recorded all of their stuff up to this point. He's the one that did sound for them when they performed at Coachella. Like them deciding to do music videos with like their one videographer friend. And they had gotten some sort of deal with like, I think with Nike. And they were like, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do like a Speed branded sneaker or streetwear, something along those lines. We have a team that we're going to give you guys and this and that. And here's your budget. And they were like, no, we have a guy. This guy has shot all of our videos, all of our movies and stuff like that. And we want him to do it. Yeah. And they were like, okay. They had just enough clout that they were like, all right, cool. Yeah, bring him in. We'll do it with your people. So it's cool to see that like they are bringing all their friends along for the ride. Yeah. And that they can manage to keep that sort of like DIY sense while still blowing up. Yeah, and definitely playing to larger and larger audiences. And like some people gave them shit for playing Coachella the way that any hardcore band that plays Coachella gets shit now. But they literally played like a basement show or like a VFW show the very next day. Yeah. Like that's just the type of band that they are. Like, they were given the opportunity and they said yes. They fucking killed it, and then they're like, cool, we're going back to playing our style of shows now. And they're not like, they didn't suddenly get like this overinflated ego by being like, but by playing Coachella. I think they had even in an interview said like it was whatever, like it was more of a celebrity event, and fine if we introduce like 5 people who've never listened to this music before, and that ends up being their gateway to listening to more of this heavier, faster, harder music, so be it. That's what we're just there to put on the show. So yeah, I had to give it up for Speed. I love these guys. I'm so pumped to see them. Chris, I would love to say that you and I could have done this episode in under 60 seconds, and we may even have to do a super cut, right? Where it's just 60 seconds of us mentioning all the different bands that we have on our list for Gone in 60-second songs. But give us one more. Give us your suggestion for this episode of songs that are in and out in 60 seconds.
So for my suggestion, I'm going to tell a bit of a story.
Okay. You got 60 seconds.
It won't be. Have you heard me talk? Are you new here? So,
for any of you that are, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
Hell yeah. Leave a comment, please. So, many years ago, I saw Andrew WK at the Crazy Donkey. Okay. And talking about how intense a short song is, I remember this was the first time I saw Andrew WK, and a friend of mine who had seen Andrew WK was like, look, his set is going to be maybe 40 to 45 minutes long, but I guarantee you it will be the most energetic 45 minutes of your entire life. And it was fantastic. This was during a weird period of time where he didn't have the rights to perform as a band. So it was a solo show to him singing along to recordings of his music. But because his set was going to be so short, there were like 5 other bands that were opening for him.
Okay.
And one of the bands that opened for him was the grindcore band Kirk Fogg's African Adventure.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Kirk Fogg was the host of Legends of the Hidden Temple, a children's game show on Nickelodeon, so they named themselves after him. The curtain opens at the Crazy Donkey, and first thing I notice is the cardboard cutout of Ken Griffey Jr. on stage, and then the band comes out, and they have a song called Ken Griffey Jr., not that I knew what the songs were called or what the lyrics were because they're a grindcore band, but they come out, 2 or 3 of the members are wearing like short shorts and knee-high tube socks, and they're playing this crazy grindcore music, and then they get to the end of their set, and the lead singer is like, hey, you guys want to hear one more song? And we're like, yeah, totally. We're all, cheering for them to play one more song. And so they play Why Don't You Invite Your Daughter, Your Slutty Whorebag Daughter That's Going to Dirty Up My Party, ... I Think Not, parentheses, 2-second song. And so what happens is they say, you want to hear one more song? We all cheer. They hit 2 chords, and then the lead singer's like, thank you, good night, and they walk off the stage. And I was like, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen at a live show. And so that's why my suggestion is, why don't you invite your daughter, your slutty whorebag daughter, that's going to dirty up my party, ... I think not, parentheses, 2-second song, from the band Kirk Fogg's African Adventure. This is off their EP, Olmec Sings the Blues, released in 2006. So please check out Kirk Fogg's African Adventure and get the same joy I did when the band was like, hey, you want to hear one more song? And they hit 2 chords. And like, I'm pretty sure the lead singer even like jumped and like stomped his feet in time with the 2 chords and then walked off stage. It was amazing.
That's fucking incredible. We have to do a whole entire episode on like song titles that are just ridiculously fucking long. Oh my god, we'd have so many fucking emo songs on that episode.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it. Too many Fall Out Boy songs.
Yeah.
We would absolutely just delete the fucking episode once we're done recording it.
I always think about, I think it's Taking Back Sunday, Existentialism on Prom Night. I think that's Taking Back Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know.
So my suggestion for this episode is a song that embodies how I feel about emo music. That's the song I Don't Care by Tsunami. This song comes in at 38 seconds. What a fucking millennial. Like, oh, I fucking hate emo music.
That was
Scrub it.
That was also my personality. Hating emo music and thinking Slayer reigns supreme was my entire personality throughout high school and college.
Jamie, scrub it. Delete all of it.
The joke I've been seeing in Drawfee that I watch is cut this. And when they'll be streaming, the comments on Twitch will start being like, cut this.
Yeah. So yeah, Tsunami. Ridiculous band. I love them. They pretty much started as a joke. They were like, let's just write the most ignorant, stupid songs that we possibly can. And it's real bass shit. And they absolutely kill it in the execution. Some would even say that they are the excellence of execution of real bass shit music. But yeah, check out the song I Don't Care by Tsunami. It's 38 fucking seconds. It's so fucking good. It's really fucking heavy. It's stupid. It's so fucking good. I love them. So check out I Don't Care by Tsunami.
What are they, fucking Bret the Hitman Hart? Put you in a fucking sharpshooter and then complain about Bill Goldberg?
He ended my fucking career.
Yeah, he's the Dave Mustaine of wrestling who won't shut the fuck up about the guy who kicked him in the head 40 years ago or 20 years ago. He's made up with Shawn Michaels. He's made up with all these other people, but Bill Goldberg always refers to him as Bill Goldberg, and it's fuck Bill Goldberg.
Yeah. If I have to hear about the fucking Montreal Screwjob one more time.
See, but he's not even mad about that anymore.
I know.
He doesn't even talk about that. It's all Bill Goldberg. Any interview, you could ask him about anything. It all comes back to fuck Bill Goldberg.
At least the man's consistent.
Yeah?
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Scrap Metal Podcast. The time has come for us to pack up our gear, but we'll be back to rock out with you in the next episode.
Stay metal, everyone.
Good night.